Welcome to the Shootin The Que podcast presented by Heath Riles Barbecue with tips, tricks, and an inside look at some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Welcome back to another episode of Shootin The Que. Here I am today joined with my lovely wife, Candace. How are you doing today, baby?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, it's been a tiring weekend, hasn't it?
It has been. It went by really fast, though.
Faster than normal, it seemed like.
Yeah, we were busy.
And it did not seem like 82 degrees, what the weather forecast said.
I never looked at the temperature on Saturday, but I do not feel like it was 82 degrees.
I was still sweating in places I didn't know I was supposed to sweat.
So we started off, we spent the whole weekend in Oxford, Mississippi, basically.
Well, hold on. Let's back up a little bit further. I filmed 7 videos on Thursday. And then we got up Friday morning and had several meetings, and then we left out to head to Oxford on Friday about lunchtime, right? It was about lunch when we left.
Or after.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it was after lunch.
After lunch.
About 1 something. That's right. It was 1:30, 2 o'clock when we left. Yeah.
And so once we got there, we went on Friday because Heath and I are part of the Vaught Society, and so we got invited to the dinner this year, which we had never gotten to do in the past. So it was something we wanted to do, and I'm glad that we did. It's an invite-only dinner. It was really cool. It's down on the field. You get to go to sit outside. All the stadium lights are on. It was decorated really nice. The flowers were. I felt like I should be at a wedding. The flowers were so extravagant. Oxford Floral always does an amazing job. I feel like almost any event in Oxford is done by them, and it's always stunning, I feel like. For
sure. Yeah, even the food was not bad for catered food either. They had fillets and grilled chicken. You know, started off with a wedge. I mean, I thought it was good food for having dinner on the field and catered in for that many people and all that. And the cocktails were good and strong for sure. Stronger than sometimes I wanted to drink.
Well, I just stuck with wine, so.
And they were passing it out by the bottle.
Yeah, they were bringing, they kind of had like a happy hour before the dinner was supposed to start at 6:30. The happy hour started at 5:30. So you could kind of go up and get whatever you wanted. And then once we got to our tables, and there was a bottle of red and white on every single table. But yeah, they were walking around. I guess the bottles were going rather quickly once everybody was seated. Not specifically at our table, I don't think, but some of the tables around us, they were going pretty quickly.
For sure.
So, was there anything that stood out to you about that dinner? I mean, that was our first time, like I said, so.
Well, the weather was nice that Friday night.
It was really nice.
It had turned off almost cool, semi-cool by the time we got out of the stadium that night by about 8:30.
We were walking out about 8:30.
Yeah, walking out. But it was good. But then Saturday morning we got up, you know, and it was warmer outside than what I thought it would be when I started icing down some beverages.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2:30 game, which is right in the heat of the day normally, which we went to the game the week before, and it was hot for that game, for the Tulane game. But then I was not expecting – I mean, this game was not as hot as that one, but it was still warm for sure.
Well, it was a lot of people there because we did see that it was over 68,000 people in attendance, which happened to be the 4th largest crowd at a game. And
it felt like there were that many people there.
Definitely.
Just walking around in the Grove and just in general, there were a lot of people. But I mean, that's a good thing. It was good.
And I got to see Jess Prowse a minute. She was actually
That's
doing
right.
demos.
She was there.
And didn't even know she was coming to town, and we kind of spotted each other, and I think she was in shock just as much as I was of her being in Oxford. And so we chatted with her a few minutes, and we seen some of the Turtle Box guys. Turtle Box had a big area set up, and I did find out that they actually – one of the owners went to school at Ole Miss is what we're being told.
That's what we were told. I guess I haven't done my research on that part, but – that is what we were told over the weekend. So
they like to party.
They did have a good setup there, so I feel like they must have some connection for sure. But Ole Miss won the game 24-19. So that That was great. I think me and Collins were more excited than you were, to be honest. You
I
were
mean,
trying to leave the game early, and I was like, we are not
well,
leaving
hold on.
this
I
game
didn't want to
early.
leave it super early, but I was like the last few minutes when I knew they had it in a bag, I'm like, do you want to leave or you want to see the last play? So we seen the last play, but one of the best plays on the field was right when the game started. It was when Witt actually threw up
That wasn't a play.
on the field. It wasn't a play, but he threw up.
Well, I
On the
mean, that
field.
happens. It's hot. He might have drank too much water. He might have, who knows?
I don't think it was water he drank too much of.
I don't know.
Might have been burping them 16 ounces from the night before.
Maybe. I don't know. So kind of going into this week, it was kind of made public that Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry, was dating Whit Weeks, which is obviously an LSU player. So
Kinda
that was
hilarious.
kind of interesting social media stuff leading up to the game. And even after the game, there were some AI generated videos I sent you. I don't know if you watched it, but
I did.
of Lane Kiffin and like a post conference, but it was definitely AI generated, but it was hilarious. But even the ones that were not AI generated, you know, I personally love Lane Kiffin. I feel like we would be friends if we ever met in person. He's very sarcastic, and I like that. I feel like I'm very much like that. So I always am watching and listening to what he's going to say next because it's always something hilarious, I feel like.
I like he took the dig that asked, did we cover the over?
Well, that was like the first thing out of his mouth. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. That's one of the reasons I love him. He's just a genuine smartass, to be honest. I mean, I don't know a better word for it, but it entertains me, and I think it entertains a lot of people too.
100%. And what about the Grove?
Oh, it was packed.
It was packed, elbow to elbow, could not hardly walk.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to let Collins walk, and we were doing a good job holding on to her, but at one point, well, I guess that was after the game, walking back, I was just like, I just picked her up because I felt like there were just too many people walking, and I didn't want to risk losing my child, which we were a little hesitant to take her to the LSU game anyways.
But she had a good time.
But it worked out, you know, it was a day game, so we thought it would be okay, and it was. She had a great time, so I'm glad that we took her and kept up with her in the crowds.
Yeah,
because
sure.
it was a lot. We saw a lot of people in the Grove we knew, a lot of people just who knew your face.
Yeah, a lot of people
pictures.
offered me beers, and I took them, and I drank them. And some I didn't like, but I drank the beers anyway.
No, well.
Just some beer, it's just hard for me to do, and I just, oof.
And we did, you know, the players always walk through before the game, about 2 hours before. We always, when we have Collins with us, try to watch that, we did watch that as always. And she gets lots of fist bumps and high fives. Unfortunately, Lane doesn't seem to reach out to anybody as of now, which security may not let him because he's always.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why.
And then, you know, Juice is always in front of him, the dog.
Yeah.
So she likes seeing him too, but of course you can't pet him either. He's under security too.
That's right. Well, we can officially say fall is here, right?
I mean, as far as
It's in the 80s. It's cool this week.
according to, yes, it is here, but sometimes it still doesn't feel like it.
No. But it's almost time to start cooking soups and chilies.
Yeah, I think we kind of had that talk last time. I think it opened up a whole debate on chili again, as it always does, is beans or no beans, basically.
Well, I know your thoughts. You like beans in chili.
I mean, I do.
But you don't like it overly loaded bean.
Well, no, because then, I guess that's just, I mean, I feel like you always go back to how you grew up, like how you ate things when you were a kid and what you're used to. And my mom always made it with beans in it. I don't really remember my grandmother making much chili. I remember her making lots of vegetable soups and that type of thing, but I don't remember ever eating chili as a kid beyond my parents making it, and they did always have beans in it. And I don't know if that was just...
I'm going to say that was me too. My grandmother, I think she may have made chili 1 or 2 times, the best I can
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, my
it wasn't a lot. It was always a soup or
she might have made it, and if
something.
she did, I just don't remember it. But I definitely remember the vegetable soups and the chicken and dumplings and those type of things. But I don't ever just really remember. Well, I guess she did, because that's how I take it back. She had to have made chili, because I have kind of passed that on to you. My grandmother was always the one, she wanted chili mac. So you were not used to eating it that way. And I said, well, we used to always have noodles when my grandmother would make it. So I guess I'm just talking about stuff not remembering.
You know, that would make a great video, a chili mac.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to hit that then.
Well, it's basically you just take your chili and add noodles.
That's it.
But you can keep them separate for if you're having several guests over. Some people may want noodles and some may not. Oh, gosh, we're probably going to really upset some people adding noodles to chili.
Well, I mean, the bean thing is a starch, and for me, I don't mind like 1 can of beans to like 4 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like kind of crazy, but I don't mind getting a bean every now and then with that. But I'm not one of these people that wants to put 4 cans of beans in 4 pounds of meat. I don't agree with that at all. I don't even like 2 cans. I don't. That's too much beans.
What kind of beans do you think should go in chili?
I like red kidney beans. But you see people put all kinds of beans in chilies these days.
I know my mom used 2 different kinds of beans, because I remember when I asked her how to make her chili, it had, the red kidney beans, and then also I believe it had, was maybe pinto beans?
Yes, I've seen a lot of people use pinto beans.
But it was like 1 of each or something. It wasn't a crazy amount.
Well, this brings up a good thing. Chili is almost like, it is one of the great debates like cheesesteaks and everything else. I don't want to say there's a right or a wrong way to do it. People that were raised for a certain way where they never had beans in their chili, then they're always going to say beans don't belong in chili. For someone that was raised in the South that maybe added a little bit of beans to theirs or whatever, that's fine. It just depends on how you grew up and how you ate it. I think is how people perceive it, of who's right or who's wrong. And at the end of the day, none of us are right and wrong. And that's why I'm so open-minded about food. I want to try it all. At the end of the day, it might be the best I ever had. You're not going to tell me that it's the best. I need to taste it and be for sure. Then I might tell you you're full of it. That no, then taste this one and tell me the differences in them. I mean, but that definitely a tit for tat.
So your response to the people that get really upset about the beans are just it's whatever
most of the
you
ones,
like best, basically.
I'm probably going to catch some report for saying this, but I feel like if it's the ones always jumping on the internet so quick to say you're doing that wrong, most of them never have done it themselves or don't know how to really cook. Because if they've really dug into any kind of cookbooks and cooking shows and watching people online and doing anything, everybody does it different. All of it turns out great for the most part. Or very consumable, eatable, whatever you want to say. It may not be the best you ever had.
Well, I feel like another thing, I feel like a lot of people feel like you have to put beer in chili.
I don't think that's necessary.
Well, it's not necessary, but a lot of people do it.
They do.
I mean, where'd that come from? Just because somebody felt like...
Somebody done it one time. Some drunk guy at a party said he done it. I tried to eat, cereal with beer one time, and I couldn't do that. It was too much.
That's gross.
Hadn't everybody made that joke before about I'll eat beer with my cereal? Well, I did, and it's not feasible.
So what else is controversial besides, like, beans and chili and Philly cheesesteak, right or wrong?
Pizza's pretty controversial, right? Deep dish versus thin crust versus cracker versus... I mean,
everything.
Tavern
if
style,
you think about
cracker
it,
style, whatever
I feel
you
like
call
everything's controversial, really, because even ribs can be controversial because some people say you have to do it this way, or it has to be on this grill, or cooking on a pellet grill is not really barbecuing, or you can get into so much.
I seen somebody
with that.
ask me that the other day on a comment. Now that you say that, for somebody that cooks on a stick burner as a purist to teach contests, why don't you cook on pellet grills at home? And I'm like, well, if you don't know, by the time you get off work, by the time you go home on the weekends, you want to enjoy a football game. I do throw some sticks several times a year in a fire to do something. I still like cooking ribs and brisket and butts like that. I do, but it's very nice to be able to put a butt on at night and cook it at 200 and 210 degrees and get up and wrap it up the next morning. It'd be done by lunch. You don't have anything to do. You can watch the game. have some cocktails. For me, I jump on a side-by-side. I'm doing things in the morning times. I don't want to physically be there cooking right then. I need to accomplish other things. So I live a very fast-paced, busy weekend a lot of times because I film during the week, right? And so just trying to say that there is no right or wrong way with using a pellet grill, a stick burner, a flat top, a pizza oven. It's all in what you have. Even if you have the regular oven, you can still make good food. It doesn't matter. And I think,
can you boil ribs and them be good?
the whole boil ribs thing, that's when you throw it out the window for me.
I've never.
Now, I will tell you that I've seen my grandmother not boil a rack of ribs. I've seen her boil country-style ribs before. When I was really young, she would do that. She would boil them first and then pull them out, baste them with sauce, or put like a little dry rub on them, put them in the oven a minute, and then start putting sauce on them until they would just fall apart tender. She would not cook them all the way in the water, but they were really meaty country-style ribs. And I was really, really young. I was under 10 when that was going on. But when I don't think ribs were readily available then for them to cook like we cook now.
Probably not. I mean, I feel like.
Well, even for me, I'll go as far as
ribs.
saying this, 94, 95, or 90, 93, 94, up in there, that time frame, 96, there was not a large amount of ribs in the grocery store. 97, 98, like it is now. It was not. There was one or two slabs the meat department kept there because I worked in the meat department of a store. Unless it was a holiday season or coming up for something, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, May and June and July, yeah, those things were ramped up because people were outside cooking. But now you can walk in and find ribs or pork butts anytime. That's not always been the case.
Yeah, I just don't remember, and I don't know if it was my family just didn't cook it, or I don't ever really remember having ribs growing up. Anybody in my family cooking ribs.
Did you ever have them on like 4th of July or like anything like that, Labor Day?
No, more like Boston butts or even pork loin. Sometimes my grandmother would cook a pork loin, and I remember how she cooked it, and it was in the crock pot a lot of times, and it had a ton of wickers in it a lot of times too. It was like that.
That's what people did.
I mean, I didn't dislike it. I ate it. I liked it. I mean, my taste might be a little different now. I still like wickers though. I don't know if I would use as much as people did back then, but I don't know.
I mean, you're right. My grandmother then would do pork loin, a Boston butt. We done a lot of venison and deer roast and things like that on the grill.
We never had anything.
We done that on the grill. My dad had a grill built, and we smoked butts, and we done a lot of chicken on the grill and things like that. Country-style ribs, Western-style ribs, just different little things like that was grilled up. But we probably done more half chickens than anything.
I don't remember doing that. I guess we mainly ate like chicken breast and
leg quarters.
Stuff like that. My dad still won't eat a chicken leg today, so I know we weren't eating chicken legs when I was a kid.
Well, he said he ate too many chicken legs when he was a kid. Your grandpa always got the breasts.
Well, because you got to think, when my dad was a kid, that when you got chicken, it was a whole chicken. That's probably the only way it was sold then.
That's all we got.
And so then, they were cooking that, and there was the mom, the dad, and the two kids. So he said that my grandfather always got the breast, my grandmother always got the wings, and then him and his brother got the legs. And so he will not eat a chicken leg today, even if you cook it and it's a competition style. He doesn't want it.
He don't want it. He don't want to taste it. I mean, it happens. Other controversial food that you asked me about?
I feel like coleslaw can be controversial.
Well, agreed. Because for me, I love mayonnaise-based coleslaw. I love mustard-based coleslaw, and I like vinegar-based coleslaws. It depends on what I'm eating of which one I want, whether it's catfish or barbecue or just regular with something else. It just kind of depends.
Yeah.
And I've leaned more toward a mustard slaw with barbecue lately.
I like a more vinegar-based.
Or vinegar-based, one of the two.
For the most part, overall. I do know what you're talking about. You do like a specific kind of coleslaw when it comes to like fried catfish. And it's
either vinegar-based or mayonnaise.
Well, I feel like it's more of I'm thinking more of the mayonnaise and the sweeter taste where it's got sugar in it.
I'd rather have vinegar. But you do vinegar, sugar, salt, and pepper is a basic
Yeah.
one. And your sugar and your vinegar needs to be equal parts. I mean, so, and you like that, you just, because the vinegar drowns it out. I think you don't like the mayonnaise with a little bit of sugar and the seasonings and the onion and things like that.
I just don't like it overly sweet.
And I don't
personally
like chunky slaw either. I'd rather have finely shredded slaw.
I don't guess I really care so much on that end of it, to be honest.
And I don't like purple cabbage in it.
Well, what about the slaw that we made that time that was strictly purple cabbage?
Now, that purple cabbage, the blue cheese coleslaw,
The jalapeno
that
blue
was
cheese.
good. Jalapeno blue cheese coleslaw.
Basically
with
shred
cabbage.
purple cabbage yourself and make a whole.
That's different.
Well, it's still purple cabbage.
That's
Just
different,
asking.
though. It just depends. That's different. That's wildly different. I mean, what other foods would you say is so controversial?
I mean, I could think about lots of things, I guess. I mean, not even just, I don't even think this is considered a food, but I feel like a condiment that is controversial is ketchup. Because it's like, if you're at a steakhouse or somewhere like that and you see someone ask for ketchup, you're just like, that's bad.
I agreed.
And I feel like even if you have to use, you and I have had this conversation, some people are not going to agree, and that's okay because it's probably going to go back to how they were brought up and what they believe.
Steak sauce.
Steak sauce. If you have a steak that has to have a sauce, that tells me it's not a good steak. But it may just be something you're accustomed to, so I probably shouldn't say that.
I seen a TikTok the other day of a husband and a wife arguing over steak sauce of why would you
and
put
which
that
steak
on a
sauce?
$50 steak?
Yeah.
And he said, well, why do they sell steak sauce
It's
if you're
true.
not going to put it on a steak? And you know, that is a common thing to reply back to. Well, why would they have it if they didn't want you to use it?
Oh, I get it. I mean, and then you go to, well, which steak sauce?
So you're sitting there saying that, but when you go to a fine steakhouse and they make
They make theirs.
homemade
Correct.
some kind of steak sauce, you order it and you eat it with it and you talk about how good it is. So just because somebody has commercialized it and put it in a bottle, you say
I feel like
no.
when I get a sauce of sorts at a steakhouse, it's a glaze.
So you don't
of
feel
some sort.
that enlightened by Heinz 57 or Country Bob's? Is that what
I mean,
you're
I don't
saying?
dislike
Or
them.
A1?
I like
those are really
all of
top
those.
three.
I like all of those. I don't have anything against any of them, but I don't personally eat them on a steak.
What?
Now I eat them on other things. Like Huey's is a local, hamburger place around here in Memphis. They have an A1 burger. They put A1 on the burger with like the French fried onions and stuff.
No, I don't have French fried onions.
Whatever it has, it's on the burger and it's good. And I like A1 sauce and I like Heinz 57. But do I eat them on my steak? No, I don't. But I'll eat them on different things.
So if you like those three, rank them out for me. A1, Country Bob's, and Heinz 57.
It's going to depend on my mood, but Country Bob's is going to be dead last all the time because I'm not a big fan of it. So it's going to be between A1 and Heinz 57, and it kind of depends what you're looking for because one of them is more tangier than the other, I feel like.
Well, they always say.
And then I like just Liam Perrin's Worcestershire. I'm probably, however you properly say Worcestershire.
Well, they had a steak sauce in an orange wrapper one time.
Yeah.
That was comparable, I would say, to Country Bob's. Because I liked
know
it.
that I ever had it.
It had that same pour to it. It had all that.
But I will say, I do agree that different Worcestershires are different as well.
I mean, my favorite, don't get me wrong, is W sauce. It's
I
thicker,
completely agree.
It's more flavorful.
But that wasn't around when I was a kid.
That's right.
It was just Liam Perrin's or, French's or an off-brand.
That's right.
And I feel like you could tell the difference because my grandmother always used Liam Perrin's. And you could definitely tell that. And now my mom didn't buy Liam Perrin's. So what we had at home versus what my grandma had was kind of not as good. But
it's
yes,
always
W
like
sauce
that.
is my favorite. And we use that in multiple dishes. You use that on chicken. You use it. I mean, you put it in chili. I mean, you put it in everything you make, I feel like.
So which one do you like better, Heinz 57 or A1?
Probably A1, I guess, if I had to pick one.
And I've got to go with Heinz 57, ketchup with a kick. That's what they always
But
say.
see, you're a big ketchup person, and I'm not
I do like ketchup, but
on weird things.
you remember back last year when I decided, I just walked by Heinz 57, I grabbed a bottle from the store, and I said, we're going to have Heinz 57 grilled chicken. You know that? Because a lot of people base it on that grilled chicken and char it up. Do you remember when we cooked that night?
No.
We cooked it on a gas grill. I remember. It just brought back a lot of memories to me.
Yeah.
Because I remember we had a cheap gas grill, and then we had a custom.
You could have threw Kraft barbecue sauce on there, and it would have brought back memories for me because that's what we had when I was a kid.
Well, we had whatever was on sale, Kraft, Bullseye, Open Pit. It didn't matter. I think it didn't matter. Whatever was 69 cents.
Yeah.
It's probably what they got. And now that same one's like $1.29, right, on sale.
I don't know. I don't buy those brands anymore today.
No. You're a little more frequently. You have something else in the pantry now.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm picky when it comes to barbecue sauce, too. We won't go down that route.
No. You don't even like my own sauce. See? No. That's how I know.
I do like barbecue sauces that are out there. I have some that I like.
You do.
Some that I don't care for. But I'm just very different when it comes to sauces, I think, than a lot of.
But you're not a savory, sweet person.
No.
You're more of a spicy.
I mean, savory, yes. Sweet, no.
You're a spicy savory.
Yeah. Or it doesn't have to be spicy, but.
A hint of heat.
Yeah.
You want more traditional. You don't want anything.
I always say I don't like sweet meat.
That's right.
I don't like the honey hams or the honey turkeys I don't like sweet meat.
Now, with your dad hating chicken legs, is that something that divulged from you being forced to eat sweet meat as a kid?
I don't think I was forced to eat sweet meat. I don't ever remember anything being sweet as far as meat-wise that we ate. I mean, I remember like barbecue chicken, and at that time, I don't remember thinking, oh, this sauce is too sweet for this chicken. I don't remember thinking like that as a child. And we would eat steak, but when like the steak that I'm saying was steak was like
sirloin, probably.
Yeah, it was like cheap steak,
but
it was still beef.
All my parents known was sirloin when we were coming up. We didn't know. Now, don't get me wrong. We got on up in age. I think maybe we got a ribeye or something.
I don't ever remember. I'm not a ribeye person even now, and I don't remember ever.
Well, I remember when I worked in the meat department at 14 and 15 years old, that you could buy a sirloin steak that was probably 2 pounds of meat, an inch and a half thick, and it was $4.
Yeah.
And I remember we could cut that thing in fours, and that's enough steaks for everybody.
Right.
And that was still bigger than a fillet. Most fillets today. Yeah, it was. We had sirloins 99% of the time.
And you knowing how my parents are, you can imagine how that sirloin was cooked for me as a child.
Totally murdered. So here's a little disclaimer. When I first started dating Candace and we went to dinner with her parents, her mom and dad both ordered steaks well done, and almost had a panic attack.
My dad has since changed.
Your dad has changed
since you got him to eat.
That's what
you taught him that medium is not necessarily like rare.
That's right.
Like his mind was kind of going to.
Your mom's
but my mom still.
Yeah, she ain't convinced.
She wants it well done. Burgers,
she wants
steaks.
all the juice cooked out of it.
she doesn't want it pink at all.
She wants them to murder it.
She says it's not done. If it's pink, it's not done.
She's, Lord have mercy.
And that's probably the way she was raised, if you think about it. I mean, that might have been the way my grandparents were on that side.
Well, you know? I think the biggest thing for me, and I make the joke about chicken a lot, right? And people overcooking chicken. But I will say, my grandmother cooked chicken. The chicken was not ever dry. She didn't have no thermometer, but the chicken was never dry.
Well, I mean,
when she fried chicken, it was never dry.
We can talk about my parents cooking meat, but we won't even go to your mom and her food issue. I mean,
my mom will not eat ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, or any kind of salad dressings. She will only eat barbecue sauce or Heinz 57 only. That is it.
I thought,
Country Bob's.
I was gonna say, doesn't she use?
But other than that is it. Nothing else. She's never had nothing else.
And if you tell her it has mayonnaise in it, she won't eat it.
She won't eat it.
Nothing. I mean, just.
She don't eat sour cream either. Mm-mm. And my mom's never had a driver's license.
Correct.
She had a wreck when she took a test for a permit. Somebody hit her and my grandmother, and she never went and got a license after that, and she was not even driving. She was a passenger. Never. She did learn how to drive a golf cart in her 40s.
Yep.
Sure enough.
And then you've scared her out of eating other stuff too when you try to tell her that
I used to
random
trick her
meats
about
are in there.
deer meat and duck and everything else, and she's not a wild game person. So there's been a handful of times where me and my dad would get her on some deer meat or something, and she would eat it and like it, and then we'd tell her what it was, and she'd be like, I knew y'all were lying to me, knowing she couldn't taste it. But
I think you told her we put some in a chili last year or something after she ate it. I can't remember.
yeah, now she won't eat the chili. I think
don't
I
think
carried some
they-
leftover chili after that. She said, I didn't eat that. I let the other kids eat it.
And I don't even think it really had anything in it except for beef.
No, not with beef.
You're so
I just
mean.
mess with her.
But I don't understand how she's gone through life without eating mayonnaise or ketchup or.
Everybody has a safety net, though, when you really look at it. Everybody has a particular way in some way or another, so I don't even try to. Like I used to try to just, hey, look, mayonnaise ain't nothing but oil, eggs.
But does she
nothing-
know that barbecue sauce is like ketchup based?
I mean, I get it. I went through the whole ingredients with her. You don't have to tell me. I told her I'd make it for her homemade, and she said, I don't want to see you make it. That's what she told me. I said, I'll bring all the ingredients and boil it on your stove, and it's going to be made with ketchup. And she said, I don't want to see it. But she eats tomatoes like it's 40 going north. Also.
And does she eat salad just with
Oh,
no
love
dress?
salad.
Just no dressing?
No dressing, salt and pepper only. We'll build a salad with everything on it, salt and pepper only.
Does she eat vinegar?
She's had some oil and vinegar,
Like oil and vinegar on
but she'd
salad?
rather have it plain.
Just lettuce.
Iceberg lettuce too. Don't even like romaine. I can't convince her. I mean, I just stopped. There's no need.
Well, speaking of mayonnaise, we like to hear from the audience, and it's been a couple of months since we have read through some of the questions that we've gotten asked. And one of the questions this time has to do with mayonnaise, is where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So they asked, thoughts on using mayonnaise as a rib binder over mustard. Not only does it hold the seasonings, but I think it adds more moisture.
I have not played with that side by side with mustard to think if it held more moisture, but I'm going to say that without testing it, that would be wrong because I don't see where the binder would help it hold moisture whatsoever. However that rib was or whatever that rib was, product-wise, whether it was a prime grade or how it was raised or whatever the breed of the hog was, is going to turn out better marbling, which is going to increase your moisture content. Now, you can inject too and get something in the ribs, but the outer binder on that, I don't think so. I've used mustard on pork before, mayo on pork before. I mean, it's just like mustard. I can't tell a huge difference. It's something for it to stick to. So I think it's personal preference, but I've used it on ribs. Yes.
Mayonnaise?
Yes, and I've used it on chicken skins and things like
I knew
that.
you've done that.
You can even use mayonnaise instead of grabbing olive oil to go on the griddle. Throw down a squirt of mayonnaise, push that around with your spatula, and lay your bread down in it and toast your bread. You see us smear mayonnaise on bread all the time to toast it. That's nothing but oil. I mean,
I like mayonnaise, but when you get that hot mayonnaise, it kind of changes my
when I've
thoughts a little
toasted
bit.
bread like that for you, you didn't even know it.
I did. I've seen you do that, but that's just like you try to tell me you're supposed to put mayonnaise in mashed potatoes. I don't agree with that. You need to keep mayonnaise out of my mashed potatoes.
Now, my grandmother's mashed potatoes, she did always put a squirt of mayonnaise on them, and it creates a little bit of unique creaminess to that. You can do them without it, and you can do them with, but there's so many versions of mashed potatoes, too. That's why yours personally bought a potato ricer, because I like really, really fine mashed potato puree, like a fine dining restaurant. I like making those sometimes with roasted garlic and, warm milk and butter together and rosemary in it. And then sometimes it's just throwing some cold butter knobs in it and turning it up. It just depends. But that squirt of mayonnaise does help with some creaminess.
I don't like mayonnaise in my potatoes
You sure eat them.
unless it's potato salad, which is cold in my opinion. But next question. Watching videos online, it looks like Heath does not inject his ribs. Is that the case? If so, why?
I did not inject those practice ribs that I cooked for the Jack, and I probably won't inject them up there. I've injected them before. Could not tell a huge difference in winning when it comes to injecting ribs versus not. But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to do it either. So I guess it's just personal preference on what you want to do. It just depends on what the ribs look like when I cut into them, whether I inject them or not. You do want every little advantage when you're competing, so it's not a bad thing to inject them at all. Probably kind of smart. But I'm just the way I've always done mine and rested them in the butter bath. A lot of people don't rest their ribs in the foil either and leave the liquid on them. A lot of people pour the liquid off and then, pull straight from the cooker and go right on. I don't do that. My process, I like resting ribs an hour and a half, 2 hours, at least at a minimum. And if I can get 3 or 4 hours out of it, I'd rather rest that rib 3 or 4 hours. And then you tell me which one has more moisture in it.
What do you feel is the best cut of beef for chili? I keep trying different things, all good, mind you, but I feel there has to be a cut that is your go-to.
Okay, for me, a go-to cut, I like chunks of beef and ground chili meat, a chili grind. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like using
prettier.
regular ground beef. I don't like using 80-20 or a 70-30 blend. I like using ground round or ground sirloin. It's more meaty. It's not as fatty. You're trying to discard that liquid and fat anyway once you brown it. So I would get rid of and buy ground round or ground sirloin, something really lean. I like using sirloin tips, but a lot of times I take them by minute steak, as you know, and cut up into cubes because it's already semi-tenderized. And so I brown it off and put it in there. And I don't want to say it deteriorates, it comes apart, but it makes it well tender when it's done that.
Yeah.
You can tell it. But you make like chili Colorado, with beef tips, and only use beef tips, really rich style, Texas-style chili, and just use those beef tips if you want. It all depends on what you want.
Yeah. How do you get chicken thigh skins to stop splitting at a comp?
To stop splitting? Well,
What it
I never
says.
have had any split unless the skin was already nicked.
Yeah.
So these last chicken thighs that I cooked, I got them from Mr. Brisket already trimmed. I did not trim them myself. I've gotten to be on the lazy side of trimming chicken. And I'm normally a leg man, but for the jack, I cook those for a practice cook, and that's what I'm going to be cooking there because that's what we need in order to make a pretty box with the wings. But I don't know. I can't really answer that question solid unless I seen the whole process he was doing and if he was nicking the skin. And I've even jacquarded my skin and it not split. So I guess what would he be cooking on? What's the temp? There'd be a lot of those types of questions I'd have to know before I could really give you an answer.
Yeah. Are there ever instances where you do competitions and turn in unsauced or dry rub only ribs?
Oh, no. Oh, no. If you do, you're going to be getting last place. It's up to you. It's just like there's nothing better than a good old salt and pepper, Texas-style rib, if that's what you want to call it. But there's nothing wrong with a good salt and pepper rib. Eating it and setting up on the porch that's been grilled off, it's great. But when it comes to these barbecue judges, and it comes when you're on the table with all these other teams that's sauced and glazed up, no, you will get your teeth kicked in 110% if that rib is not sweet, like a piece of candy with some spice on the back end. You will get tore up. There's no sense in you even going to the contest.
All right, then.
But they do bring up a valid point. It would be really cool to see everybody turn in dry ribs at a contest and wet ribs and be judged. That's something the Rib Association has never done, is a dry rib contest. We might need to talk to Jody and Dirk, and let's see if we can't do something, because that would be something really unique versus just a straight sauce rib.
Yeah. All right, last question. Do you apply more than one rub as finish dust on your comp turn-ins? And if so, do you blend them all together in a spice grinder, or do you apply in layers?
I do blend them in a spice grinder when I'm using as a true finishing dust, 100%. I like using the apple, cherry, and beef rub. I take that combo, 1, 1, and 1, or either one part or a half part apple, half part cherry, 1 part beef. Mix up, blend up in a spice grinder or fine shaker, and that's what I dust on. That little bit of heat from the beef and black and salt pepper works very well with the cherry and apple. You can't pick out the cherry or apple, but it definitely a good flavor pop.
So if anybody else has any more questions, you guys can leave them in the comments, and we'll try to get to them next time.
That's right. Well, I know we rambled on today about a lot of things and talked about some controversial subjects and a good weekend in Oxford with those Rebels beating LSU. And I'm going to say I'm sorry, LSU fans. Y'all kicked our teeth in last year in Baton Rouge. Just pay back this year. But it was a good game for sure.
It's a great game.
Back and forth. Really, really good game. And, hey, 13th and number 4 in the AP poll. See what happens.
Yeah, I don't.
We know it's going to end with tragedy, but
I hope not.
Let's be fun.
Let's have a little more faith.
We're just going to have fun. Let's just say that. We're just having fun watching football.
We do have to go to Georgia and Oklahoma.
Yep. Georgia's going to be a good game. Georgia played a crazy game against Alabama this past weekend. I know you went to bed. It was a solid game.
And Jackson Dart got to start.
He did for New York Giants.
Got his first NFL start, and they won. That was good to see.
He done real good. He needs to calm down a little bit. Maybe learn to slide, not take those hits. You know, this ain't college football.
Well, hey, got to start somewhere.
Well,
at least he got to start.
That's right. At least he got to start. Well, look, y'all, I hope y'all had a good time today shooting the queue with us, talking food, talking football, and just general friendship. Y'all can find us next week with another episode of Shootin The Que. We'll be back. See you then.
If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels. Leave us a review if you've enjoyed the show. And until next time, keep shooting the Que.